Hello people, and welcome to this week's training video. So, I should probably find a better time to record these intros than on Saturday mornings. Because if you guys know anything about my schedule, I wake up at 3 a.m. every single day. So this time of morning, about 9 a.m. is a pretty groggy time for me. My brain doesn't work right. My body doesn't really want to be awake. So it's a really, really bad time for me to record. However, I did not do it any other time this week. So this is what you guys get. Now, the reason why I did not do it any other time this week is because this week has been crazy, mainly because little baby Nala, if you guys are a fan of the channel, we have two puppies that are always in the videos. The first big one, the boy, his name is Kona. The small one, her name is Nala. Now, the strange thing about them, they're both Rhodesian Ridgebacks, and Nala is supposed to be approximately the same exact size as Kona. Now, although they are only slightly off in weight, Kona's about 120 pounds right now. Nala is about 115 or 105, I think. I don't know, never try to guess a lady's weight. But as you guys can tell, she is substantially smaller. Now the reason why is because she is kind of the runt of the litter. Kona got a lot of good genetics. That dude is a monster. For a Rhodesian Ridgeback, he is large, he is muscular, he got a lot of gifts. Now Nala, no one really wanted her. We suspect that she's purebred, so she was probably taken back a couple times. We kind of got her later than most people get a puppy, and we highly suspect it's because people didn't want her, because if you're going to use this dog as a show dog, she does not have the genetics. In fact, her face is too small for the rest of her body, and her face actually grew around so that her eyes, her eyelids curled underneath, so it's been bothering her eyes forever. Now, as painful as it is to watch, the vet kept telling us, wait till she gets spayed so that we only need to put her under once. Now, also, she was born with a hernia, so she's had a little bump on her belly since the beginning. And then also, since she is a bigger breed dog, some of them will suffer something called bloat, which is something I didn't even know about, which is your dog eats food, then your dog plays, and then your dog dies. Really, really drastic thing where their stomach kind of inverts or twists or does something. Anyway, it's very, very serious, and they can get kind of a preemptive operation to kind of help them with that. So we figured while she's already open, might as well do that. So Nala went through 4 different surgeries, one for eye, one for the hernia, one to get fixed, and then one for her little tummy thing, whatever the thing is. I don't know, it sounds like gastric bypass surgery. But because of that, little Nala's been in a cone for a couple days, and as you guys can imagine, like having your eyelids slit open and stitched, like as much as dogs want to rub their face on things and paw, and if you guys know anything about Kona, you'll know that he is a complete psycho whose favorite thing is to stick Nala's entire head inside his mouth. So the cone is staying on, and we need to be very, very careful around those two right now. One time already, she bumped her head with Kona, and it split open the stitches, and she was bleeding all over, and it was already a mess. So it's been 24-hour care, at least until all this heals up enough. So I was not able to come to the gym on Friday. My wife came to my place, said she could get her lift in, which means this morning I need to do 2 big lifts at a time when I really don't want to be awake. Now you guys aren't even gonna know about this until later in the video because I have my earlier days of the week in, and those went pretty well. So we're gonna go and we're gonna see how this Saturday morning goes. That will be later in the video. I will catch up with you guys right back here afterwards for the video recap, but thank you guys so much for joining me. And welcome to the commentary, guys. So I've just been thinking a little bit more about what I was just talking about when you miss days and things like that. Now, I'm an addictive person. I definitely have an addict's personality. I cannot have one piece of pizza. I need to eat the entire pizza. I cannot have painkillers. I've never taken painkillers just simply because I'm afraid that if I like them, within 2 weeks I will end up in a ditch, homeless and with track marks on my arm. Like, I can't test things out to see how it goes, how it doesn't go. And so when it comes to missing workouts and things like that, my entire life has been just like many of you. Like, if I miss a workout or if it doesn't go the way that it should have gone, I start asking questions of, should I repeat that workout? Should I go back and do this again? And this is the source of many, many emails that I get just all the time. But guys, you have to remember the fact that this is a marathon. Now, I am not saying that missing days or not getting all your assistance work done or whatever it is that you did not have a terrific day at the gym, whatever case that may be. I am not saying that you can make a habit out of skipping out on things or missing the gym or doing anything like that, because at the end of the day, consistency gets you just about further in this game than just about anything else. If you just show up and you give what you have, you will get pretty darn far. But with that in mind, also don't take it so seriously that if you miss a day or things you didn't get all your reps, like if you're thinking about going back and repeating that workout, absolutely not. There are 10,000 reasons why things didn't go the way that you wanted them to go. But the biggest thing that you can do is just kind of stop worrying about it and focus on your next thing. It's like arrows. Once you shoot it, you have to accept that it's gone. You're not going to get it back, right? Unless you go find that thing. That's very, very important. But guys, with your workouts, this is a marathon. You're going to be doing this hopefully for decades, years, for the rest of your life. And missing a little bit of this or a little bit that in a certain workout is not going to make or break you in the long-term effects of things. It's not even going to make or break you in like an 8-week program. It is not that serious. It's not that big of a deal, at least not at the level that most likely you are practicing at. So guys, if you need to miss something, you need to slam some things together like you're going to see me doing in this, it is not that big of a deal. Just take it in stride, adapt, overcome, do what you got to do, give all that you have when you are there. But please don't freak out so bad just because something didn't work out that way. All right, so getting on to what we're doing this day. That's an axle, that's 2-inch axle, obviously. And these weights, that looks like 500 pounds. Yeah, that's 500 pounds. I am doing sets of some number. It looks like maybe 6s, 5s, something like that. The giant set for the day were 3 sandbag over shoulder to get my hips moving as close as possible to these axle deadlifts without straps, to the farmer's carry and the hollow rocks, which you're seeing. Like I said, these sandbag over shoulder are simply there for my hips, just trying to get them moving from point A to point B as quickly as possible so that my deadlifts go better. Now, this is 550 pounds, which I believe I get for a set of, I'm not even sure. This was Monday, and Monday seems like so long ago. Let's count. 1. You guys can see, I kind of short these a little bit. I was upset about that. It didn't feel like I was doing that when I was doing it, but I was trying to get a lot of things done in a short amount of time before my grip gave out, so that's why you see kind of the soft lock out there. Not super proud of it, not happy with it, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's 550 for, I didn't count. That's too bad. The assistance for the day, I was doing 30 seconds of good mornings to 30 seconds of close stance box squat. So as you guys can see, I was just using the sandbag that I was throwing over my shoulder because I was running out of time. And you can see in the background, people are starting to show up for class. It's time for me to get done. So, excuse me. The basic idea here was that I did 30 seconds of good mornings to 30 seconds of close stance box squats, the same stance that I'd be doing on my deadlifts, to 5 Bulgarian split squats each side, and then going from there. I think I did 4 rounds of this, just pretty much knocking it through. Now, if you guys watched the last rebuild video, you'll know that I am actually following the same exact program that the rest of my gym is doing, so it's actually been really useful because now I can tell when I am too sore to do certain things, so I'm not just punishing them all the time. So I think a lot of them are probably happy that I'm on the same program as they are as well. Which brings us to my upper body day, where the variation was going to be the incline log bench press. Now, that isn't something that you normally see, but I did not feel like doing the flat bench, and the overhead log press for me right now is a very, very tough exercise for me to do just because of nerve damage, and it's a problem area. So a good assistance exercise for that is the log incline bench press. So that's why you guys are seeing it. That just is what it is. Now, the giant set for the day was that arm over arm sled drag to the back pedal sled drag to these rows. Now, the rows, I just kept the weight at 275 the entire time because honestly, it didn't feel very good above that, and below that felt like a little too less. 230 pounds on the log was not bad. The last part of the giant set are these glute ham raise halos, which is just pretty much doing like a halo, except also including the glute ham raise, so you're more suspended. They are absolutely brutal. Now, the incline log bench press is an extremely hard exercise just because it sticks you in between 2 real exercises, right? Like you're not really doing an incline bench because the log is so big and cumbersome that it's tough to kind of get the bar path. It's tough to start because you have to go from a dead stop at the beginning. And honestly, the bar path on it is just kind of a pain to find and figure out. So overall, not an easy exercise, especially not to put any substantial weight on. But these are called gator walks, or at least that's what I call them. Some people call them Spider-Man crawls. Some people call them whatever people call them. They can call them whatever they want, right? They are extremely hard on your shoulders, especially going backwards. A lot of people can go forwards, but the second that you try to go backwards, your shoulders get lit up, and number 2, your brain feels like it's going to break because it's kind of like rubbing your stomach and patting your head at the same time. Like it's tough to do to figure out mentally, but a great way to absolutely work your shoulders. Now that is 250 pounds. And going pretty well. I believe that I'm going for sets of like 6 or 8, something like that. I honestly can't remember now that I'm looking at it. But just working higher rep ranges has actually been kind of refreshing. A lot of times I go in the gym and it's just about hitting some heavy weight, like whether it be a 1, 2, or 3 rep max, whatever the case may be, and then dropping back for volume and that kind of stuff. And that is the way that I love to train, absolutely. I hate going to like 10s, 12s, even 8s, because it just seems like forever, honestly. I absolutely despise it. I end up playing games in my head with the reps. I'm like, all right, this is just like 4 sets of 2. It's not actually 8 reps or whatever the case may be. So it challenged me a little bit differently, and honestly, I get more nervous about my rep sets just because I know that it's not going to be fun. When you're doing a set of like 10 at 600 pounds, you know that that's going to be a brutal set and it's going to take something from you. So I get a little bit nervous for that as opposed to just getting up for like a big 1 rep max. But it's a good thing for my brain to do and especially my body to do right now, and I am suffering. These first 2 weeks have been absolutely brutal as far as my recovery and just being able to get those things done. So that was my top set at 275 there. That actually is a lot better than I expected to be. I think my 1 rep max for that exercise is like 405 or 410, but I have not done that in a long time. So 275 for a set of whatever the heck I just got is absolutely good, and I'm very, very happy to have that. And then you see me here just finishing up with the Gator Walks. This was actually the last Strength Giant set of the day because that was my top set. And after that, I moved on to assistance. Now, the assistance for the day was nothing more than an incline bench press with the dumbbells, 2 plyometric push-ups. Now, you can do these on all different types of heights. You can just stack up some plates. You don't even need to go up on anything. You just need to try to get your hands to leave the ground a little bit. The entire idea is to generate force when your body really doesn't want to. When you're exhausted, you need to be explosive enough to kind of get your body to go. Now, just doing this for my rear delt, I'm really focusing a lot trying to get my shoulders pulled back some because I'm going through a decent amount of pain that I'm just trying to get rid of. So I'm doing a little bit of rehab stuff at the end of my upper body days. Now, that brings us to the dreaded Saturday morning that I was talking about at the beginning of this video, which you guys are seeing. So the idea was that I was going to slam together the front squat with the overhead press, hit some ab stuff in between, which you guys are seeing right here, and hopefully work up to something cool. Now, the front squat, I was doing sets of 10, and I've gotten 405 for 10 on the front squat just about every time that I went for it. So I was going to go for like 415 type of weight, thinking that I tried to get that for 10, and since it was Saturday morning, they don't go well for me. If I got 415 for 10, I was going to be happy. As I was doing the front squats, I realized that they felt very, very bad and very, very heavy, so I wasn't sure where I was going to end up. But I still had faith. I thought it was going to go well. Now, as far as the overhead press goes, I just decided to go with strict press because my legs were already getting worked. And I decided to add some chains onto it. Now, those chains are barely on the ground, which means that at the beginning, each one of those chains is 90 pounds, or combined, it's 90 pounds. So it's just like adding another 45. So when it leaves the ground, I'm probably taking like 20, 30 pounds off of the beginning of the press, and then it probably catches up right around my eye level or my eyebrow level. This actually ended up being my top set, which was 155 plus the chain. So we're looking at about 245 for a set of 4. But again, it's only 245 at the top. A little bit wobbly, but I haven't been able to push that kind of weight in a while. So that's actually really, really good news as far as some of the nerve damage goes and things like that. These are actually some banded overhead side bend kind of things that I checked out on Elite FTS and stole them from them. So if you guys are looking for how to do them correctly, you might want to go there. Now, this was my set of 405 or 415, which started out really well. I was rushing it. I wasn't breathing right. I'm out of breath right here. It's so stupid to watch. Look, I'm getting weird. Like, my head's getting weird. And I think that was like 7 or something that I failed on. I haven't failed that badly in a very long time. So I really, really wanted to quit there. I did. I was like, man, what is the point? I don't feel good. I'm going through my life saying blah, blah, blah. Poor me. I'm a victim. Wow, wow, wow. All those things going through my head. And then I was like, man, you can better your situation. You can either better yourself or you can better your situation. You do something here. So just get something done. So I loaded the front squat bar to 315 and then the overhead press, that set at like 225. So basically what I did there was just did, at the top of every minute, I would do 2 front squats and 2 overhead presses, rest the remainder of the minute. And I did that, I don't know, for a while. It was supposed to be 10 minutes. I'm not sure if I finished 10 minutes. I just kept going back and forth until I really didn't want to do it anymore. But it felt like a small amount of redemption to to the end of a very bad day. I did not have a ton of time because I needed to get home to make sure that Nala had plenty of coverage. But guys, even if it doesn't go well, you can still get something done, like you guys can see here, even if it isn't nearly as good as I would like to have finished my week off with. All right, so that got cut pretty short. I'm actually out walking my Jeep now. I needed to run out a little bit early because Nala can't be left alone and my wife has to go to work. So I'm gonna head back and take care of her, but hopefully next week goes a little bit better than this day did. This day was kind of a rough day. But like I said, I kind of expected that, so tried to make the most of it there at the end, and I was on short time. So got done what I got done, tried not to get frustrated about it, which is probably the biggest challenge of all for me. And it was just overall good. Feels good to be back on the program. For many of you who end up missing days like I had to right now, just don't consider it so big of a deal. Like, try to smash together what you can. If you can make it up, you make it up. If you can't, it's not that big of a deal, guys. You need to look at this more like a marathon than a sprint. You're not gonna get your 500-pound bench or your 700-pound deadlift tomorrow. It's gonna take time. And missing one workout here or there, trying to make something up and missing some assistance stuff really isn't that big of a deal as long as it doesn't become a habit. If it happens too often, you're definitely not gonna get where you wanna be. Think of it like a report card. You start out with a perfect 100% A+. Every time that you miss, or you didn't do all your assistance, or whatever happened, that grade goes down a little bit. So if you just think about it like that, it's not a huge deal to miss everything or something every here and there, as long as it doesn't become a habit. So guys, I will catch up with you later in the week. Until I do, go out to something amazing, realize, keep working hard, people. Be nice to each other. I raised my hand, but I have a laundry basket. I'll see you then.